out there barking that the federal government's not doing enough are the same people that a couple of months ago, if I had advocated stronger regulation of the oil industry, would have been barking at me for being a big government guy. Your thoughts?
Well, I think this president has shown an unusual interest in commenting on his critics in the media and here on Capitol Hill. The American people don't want to hear the president's reflections and commentary on criticism. I think he wants to see him. They want to see him working the problem, which the American people expect and, frankly, the law demands. I mean, I was just listening to your interview with EPA Administrator Carol Browner, and it was striking to me. You kept asking the question, who's making the call, who's making the decision, and the Coast Guard and this. The law that was adopted, Chris, after the Exxon Valdez clarified that the President of the United States shall develop a plan to manage the discharge in catastrophic cases like this. The president was put in the lead by the law after the Exxon Valdez incident. But what we've seen here now going on 57 days is first it was BP's problem. They've got to solve it. Now we're working with BP. Now we've got our foot on their neck, and now the president's down there. You know, the American people don't want more rhetoric. They don't want the president confronting his critics. They want the president literally working the problem, marshaling public resources and private resources in the United States and around the world to not only get that well cap, but they want to arrest the expansion of this spill and protect our coastline and the economy to the best extent possible.
You've done an excellent job of critiquing the White House, and I agree with everything you said. Now about you and your party. The Republican Party, what is its position about regulation on safety matters of the oil industry? Years ago, I studied this. There have been no effort to regulate the safety of the oil industry. It has always gotten scot-free because of its lobbying power, its contributions to both political parties. They've been given a scot-free, self-regulatory regime. In other words, trust BP has been the motto, trust the oil countries. Is this going to be a Sputnik moment for both parties? Are you guys on your side and women are going to say now, wait a minute, this is one of these areas like food safety and airline safety where it's not a question of ideology, it's a question of common sense. We're going to make sure there's none of this happens again. Well, is that your party philosophy now? Well, or are you still going to be defenders of the oil patch and take a deregulatory point of view?
Let me leave you to your stereotype about our previous position, but let me say this. It's an accurate one. Well, let me say this, Chris. The American people are entitled to accountability on the part of BP. They're responsible for every dime of impact on the environment and on the economies and the families and the communities in the region. Secondly, the American people are entitled to answers so we can find out what happened that day on April 20th, and we can find out what went wrong in the days and weeks and months before that, and that we can, in a thoughtful way, not legislating in a crisis, not knee-jerk legislating, but that we can, in a thoughtful way, develop regulations that will allow us to go forward to develop our domestic reserves in an environmentally responsible way. You know, the reality here is we have pushed drilling farther and farther and farther offshore, and many of us suspect that the reality is that the regulations did not evolve in a way that dealt with deep drilling a mile down. So yes, the regulations have to change, oversight has to change. But what we can't do is we cannot abandon the environmentally responsible development of our resources.
Okay, well said. Thank you very much, Congressman Mike Pence. Please keep coming back. You're a great guest.
We will.
Let's bring in NBC White House correspondent Savannah Guthrie.